Well, hi everybody, it's Leanne Greff with today's live video. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central Time, I host a free class, basically. I let you know what specials are coming up with Stampin' Up! And current updates, inventory lists, and of course there's prizes and lots of tips and demonstrations. So let me get my laptop synced up and I can try and watch comments. There we go. Oh, I am crooked as usual. You know what? When I check my screen before the video, it always looks straight on my little phone. And then I get my screen going and it's always crooked. So let's see if that helps. And then it takes a little bit for it to change. Well, it's close. We'll leave it there. Good morning. Oh, a little bit of OCD happening, as you can tell. It's July 1st and a Tuesday, and the first Tuesday of each month is when Stampin' Up! Usually posts their specials for the month. So I have some updates, some happenings for July that I want to share. I have 2 new kits to go ready, so I got those done this weekend and I'm very happy with them, and I'll share those. Let's see then. Oh, I have new product. So I want to ask you, do we do projects first and then share new product, or share new product and then do products? So projects first or products first? So post in the comments which one you would like me to do. I'm going to go over a few of the happenings and wait for some of those answers to that. I'm not sure. I think I know which way I would go, so I'm leaning one way or the other. Okay, so last week I said that I would share with somebody who commented my cards from last month, my Sunrise Sailing cards, both fun folds, both featuring the Sunrise Sailing bundle, and just asking for a comment. And so the person who won these 2 cards is Linda Schilling. And the person who won a free tutorial from my tutorial shop is Jeanne Kohler. So congratulations, gals. Thank you so much for commenting and sharing my video from last week. So the prizes for this week are going to be the same thing. They are going to be a free tutorial for sharing from my shop, and the 2 cards that I'm making today for commenting. So boy, it looks like products are first, and that was my guess. So keep answering. We'll see if anybody disagrees with that. I'm going to go over the inventory status report. Quite a few dies are missing. Of course, it's just less than a week for a lot of them. Just a few. One is in August and a couple are the end of July. But we are in July, if you can believe it. So yeah, that is few embellishments. These are papers, and there's stamp set. There's 2 more, but I didn't write them down because there was not a date, so I just left them off. I was getting kind of full. So yeah, that's the inventory status report. If you are thinking of placing an order, you will you can see. Of course, once you go online and you click on that, and you know, there is that new option that if you want to know when something comes back in stock, there is that option to be sent an email to be informed when it's back in stock. So use that. It's new from, I think, last month it started. So, all right, next we have, this month I have a free tutorial for everybody who puts an online order in with me, and it features the Turtley Cute suite. So 10 cards featuring that suite. If you have the designer paper or the bundle, you may want to place an order. Doesn't matter how much, you'll still get the free tutorial from me. They just announced 2 brand new kits. So I'm going to hold this one up a little bit, so hopefully I get that in screen. One is Spooky Treats kit, and it's boxes. It looks like bags, but they look a little bit like a milk carton box when I watched the video yesterday. So you get 15 of them for $21. And then there's a birthday fancy kit that includes a stamp set and 10 cards. And it's almost a craft your own. Oh, I'm feeling a little shaky, I guess. where you can make 10 different cards. There's some gold foil accents on there. There's a stamp set. So that's the new kit. It's almost like a cake shop theme. So very cute for birthday cards. So those just started today. Gianne, did you know if you just came on, you were one of the door prize winners. You get to choose a free tutorial from my shop. So I sent you a message and just let me know which one you want. But congratulations, Gianne. Thank you so much for sharing last week's video. Okay, next we have online exclusives. So today starts the release of the new online exclusives for customers. We were able to pre-order. I have, let's see, there's 12 items on each page, and I think I have 5 pages. That's how many new online items are in the shop. So there's 3 suites. There's a Halloween suite. There's this one here, the charming, let's see, Floral Charm suite. And then there is the Painterly Pears, and I'll show you those designer papers right now. That's because everybody seemed to vote. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, Gian. I'm glad you like my tutorials, or to get tutorials. Yeah, they feature you can go all the way back. There's a lot of tutorials on there. And I'll show you my kits in a little bit as well. So the vote was in to share product first. So I'll start with designer paper, which it seems like most of us love. So this is the Floral Charm paper. And what I loved about this is that the back side coordinated perfectly with the front side. So you can see those two match, these two. And here we have Mossy Meadow, Timid Tiger, Berry Burst, Peacock, Pretty Peacock. And then we get into some navy, more peacock, and some blackberry bliss. So I created a kit to go with this paper, so you'll get to see some projects with it in just a little bit. So yeah, this is brand new in the online store, available kind of while supplies last. That's what they say about the online products. So don't wait. There's that one, and then next is the Painterly Pears. I have these ready to go on hooks, and they're caught. So this is the Painterly Pears. These are going to go on my display wall on a little rope I have up there. So look at the beautiful art. It's gorgeous paper, and I believe I have them every other, so they match. But there's a stamp set. Oh, I should get that out. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, no, that's not it. Here we go. Pencil Pear. So this is the stamp set. Now I do not have the dies. I got the stamp set at Disney at our incentive trip. So I didn't get the dies yet. We'll see. But that is the stamp set. I guess pears are quite popular, especially in Europe. I don't know if it's a welcome thing, but that's something that's very popular, I guess, overseas. So it's just beautiful paper. Yeah. So if you like, and it mixed florals with the pears, which is really interesting. All right. So I did not share. I have a stamp set, and I think the dies are over on my table, but this is the stamp set that goes with the Floral Charm paper I shared first. So beautiful. This one I also received at Disney as an incentive, or a prize, I should say. So yeah, I used this for one of my kits to go, the Floral Charm kits to go. So you'll see that. Okay, I have 2 more papers left. Okay, then we have what is this one called? Let me look it up on my list here for Spooky Sweet. That's right, Spooky Sweet. And what I love about this one is it has 2 sheets of these die cuts. This is a whole sheet, let me move this over, of die cuts that you can just pop out and add to your cards. And then on one of these sheets, there is a place to put some of these cute little characters. See these? There's die cuts for some of these, let me see where I have that. So here is the bundle. And while I'm talking about bundles, I keep forgetting about the accessories. There are some glittery stars in black. I think it's petunia pop and white in glittery stars. So there's also ribbon, which I forgot to bring over here, but it's petunia pop shimmery ribbon. Oh yeah, I bet you do have lots of pear orchards in Southern Oregon. Yeah, that would be very, very appropriate for you. But yeah, here are the dies. There's a fence, a haunted house, a little panel with a bat, and more bats. And they're kind of good sized bats. They're not too small. And I don't know, these must go with, I don't know what those go. Oh, look at the stamp set, Leanne. It must be with the little lantern, yeah, pumpkin lantern, maybe. Yeah. Anyway, so that is the Spooky Sweet. Spooky Halloween Suite, I should say. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next paper. I'm going to leave that one there just because I will lift them both up at the same time. This one is called, Need for Tweed. What a catchy name that is. So here you can see there's less patterns. There's only 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they are very tweedy, very textural. So somebody thought this would be great for Christmas. Some of these. Cherry Cobbler, I believe. So those are the new designer papers in the online exclusives. And I have a few more stamp sets. Now this went with the Charming Day, and I'll show you that in a little bit. These are called Charming Shimmer dots in, I believe, navy, berry burst, and petal pink. These were supposed to go with the Painterly Pear, and I have ribbon to go with that too, but I'll be sharing projects with that. So two greens and the Darling Duckling, and these are the low profile dots that are really flat. So a big bunch of those in that one. So we have, you know, I'm a big sucker for leaves. So this is one of the new leaf sets, and it's a 2-step. Can you see where this little portion or image right there fits right into that leaf? So you can stamp, say, this in green and this in gold. And this one fits with that one. See how this is like missing, and here is dark. So the color comes into the empty spaces on these 2-step. And of course it's distinctive, which is my favorite type of stamp set of Stampin' Ups. That means that when you stamp, you get multiple hues of ink of the same color. So if you stamp this in green, you'll get dark and light. So gorgeous set, one of my favorites. I'll be using that a lot. And this one I could not resist. Anything botanical, leafy, especially something kind of flowing like this prairie grass. North Dakota, we are known for our prairie grass, so this is so appropriate. I used to actually have cattails in my pond. We used to go out and dig up some and put them in pots and put them in my lily ponds. So yeah, that is a clear favorite. And then this one I bought mostly for the dies. This is called Label Me Grateful. And here are the dies. This is a really nice shape for large images or greetings. It could be vertical or this way. And the greetings really called my name too. But these leaves, the little acorns, a little poinsettia, and berries, more leaves. So yeah, this was an easy choice for me to get. So that is, those are what I have for the new online exclusives. So this is a bundle. I usually bundle mine with rubber bands for the most part, so they can kind of stay together and I know what's what. But yeah, so this one is a clear see-through, so you can do the 2-step. And this is a red rubber stamp set. So, because you really don't need to do them in a 2-step. So that is it for my online exclusives that I wanted to share with you. Missing just a few ribbons that I forgot to pull out, but I will be sharing those very soon. But you can see them online. So So like I said, we have 4 pages of new online exclusives that you really should check out. Just go to shopwithleanne.com. Up on the top, you can see the little hamburger icon. That's the 3 lines on the top left. Click on that and there's a drop down menu, and then you can click on online exclusives. So yeah, that's what's new in the July 1st updates. Okay. All right, now we're gonna get into, I'm gonna share my kits to go, just so we can save the little bit of a peek at my projects today for later. All right, so I could not resist using the Kintuji designer paper. So Kintuji Inspirations, let's see, this is a different card. There, here, there's 2 of each in my kits, and they're all fun folds. So I'm going to go through them one by one. So this is a double box fold. Isn't that beautiful and appropriate for the so shimmery and gold? So you'll get some of these flower accents dots. You'll get the Misty Moonlight ribbon, which is, you can see on there. And you'll get half a pack of this paper. So here is a double diagonal fold. Isn't that pretty how the paper kind of coordinates and matches? So this is Lost Lagoon on this one with basic beige. The other one was Misty Moonlight. Here is another simple box fold. I cased my team member Sharon for this one. Isn't that neat? So remember, the tutorials and the kits are available at flowerbugshop.com. So that is one. Again, Lost Lagoon with petal pink. I think that's so pretty. Did a little bit of fussy cutting on these. If you have the dies, you can use dies, but they're very easy to cut out. So I did use vases on most of them. This is like a flip-flop card. So very, very easy to do. Yep. So that's that one. I used some of the greetings in the Inspiring Imperfections and some in the mixed labels, but my cards are designed where all you need to use are greetings and ink. You don't have to have the specific stamp set. You just need to have some greetings and ink. So here is another kind of a double flap using your designer paper. So pretty. So those are the Kintuji Inspiration Fun Fold cards. And it's $31 for the kit, and you get almost $20 in product. And the free tutorial and the video tutorial. I now do video tutorials for most of my kits. So if you don't understand how to do a fun fold in the directions, you will get the video as well. And that goes for what I give away to people who share as well. When you get a tutorial, many of my more recent ones have a video tutorial. Okay, so next we have the Floral Charm. I told you that I would be sharing. This uses the new Shimmer Charm, let's see, Charming Shimmer faceted dots. And I used some retiring peacock and gold ribbon. That was the closest I can get. We are so short in our ribbons, I tell you what. Very short. Okay, so the cards. Very easy note card with it showing off both sides. I really made sure my projects here used both sides of the paper because they just work so beautifully together. Yeah. Okay, and here is one I did for a team swap, and I thought it was perfect for my kit to go. You can see on my swap, I stamped from the Charming Day stamp set and die cut it out, but you can also fussy cut some flowers to add to your greeting. So remember, all the dies are done for you. You just have to stamp and assemble. I like this one too. This is a fun one. So it's kind of a sneak like, wait, how does that work, right? It's like a little mystery. Well, you just trim off some triangles, and I show how in the video. It's just a 1-inch measurement. And then you layer your front on, and I fussy cut another flower from designer paper to add a little detail as well as the inside. Aren't the colors just gorgeous together? I absolutely love these. Well, thanks, Julie. I'm glad you like the video tutorials. So this is just a 6 by 5.5 piece of designer paper and you just fold over the top. You can see I did it one of each way on that same designer paper. Okay, and then the last one, this is another favorite. Just so fun to see the inside and the reverse side of your designer paper. So another little fussy cut flower to add detail. You don't have to do that. You can do something else, a punch, whatever you have to add there. But remember, everything is cut out for you. Just stamp and assemble. You do have to cut your own designer paper because you're getting a half a pack in your kit. So this is $31 as well. I use 3 colors of ink: Peacock, Blackberry Bliss, and Mossy Meadow. You can use whatever you own. And stamp sets, I use the new Charming Day and the Notes and Totes. But again, I designed my cards specifically so you just add whatever greeting fits you and that you own. You do not have to own the stamp set. All right, so that's my new July card kits to go. For those who want them, you can also, yes, I do sell the tutorials only. They are on my shop. My tutorials are $16 and the kits are $31. So yeah, you can choose what you want. Oh, I did forget to talk about my special of the month. For orders over $55, you will receive a designer paper share, 4 by 5 1/4, ready to go for your card front on your card. So mostly retired paper, but something you'll love to use on your projects. Okay, I think I covered everything except my projects today. Okay, let's get out my stamp set. I hope I have it here. Yes, I do. All right, we're gonna focus on the Peaceful View stamp set today. And this was a no-brainer for me. I had to have it right away because, as you know, I like botanicals and trees. That is my thing. That's my favorite things to work on. You think it'd be flowers, because my nickname is Flowerbug, but I kind of like trees a little bit more than flowers. And leafy things, leaves, trees, botanical. Yeah, that's my jam. Okay, let's do the card I made last night to show off. But first I'm going to share a couple swaps I have using this set. So here they sponged, let's see, this one was made by Janice Waitman, and she blended 3 or 4 colors to make a beautiful sunset, and then stamped her image in black on probably white. Now this one, they stamped and die cut with the Arches dies. I thought that was really pretty. Added a greeting in there. That is from The Right Words, if I recall. Beautiful. And that one was done by Leslie Baumgartner, and this one was done by Holly Peterson, and she did another sunset. You can see that you can use any color. We got green, yellow, we have pink, we have orange, and then a little bit of blue. So totally different, but both used black. I'm going to use different colors than black today, so to show you a few other ways. So single color works too, right? It all works. All right, so here is the card. I really wanted to make a card that showed different colors. Like I wanted the tree trunk different than the leaves, then the fence, and I'm going to show you how we do that. A very simple fold. In fact, both cards are similar folds today. Okay, so the colors here are Balmy Blue, Old Olive, Granny Apple Green, and Pecan Pie. Okay, all right. So I do want to share my measurements here because this is my favorite layering measurement to get the most out of your card. I haven't shared this for a while. This is what I use for my insides of my cards. Now you can see this is the inside of my card. When I use this template for my inside of the card, I can get 5 pieces to 1 8.5 by 11. I've shared this before. I will share it next week on my blog at flowerbug.net, this template, so you can print it off. I might even share it on my Flowerbug Stamp and Share today, or this week. I'll share it this week because it is invaluable to save paper on if you're making swaps, multiple cards. Why add another almost 1/4 inch to your layer and only get 4 when you can get 5? Okay, but look at the next layer. Perfect 1/8 inch around that. And this is my other 5 at a time card layer template, which is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So this one, the white, is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. The pecan pie in this case is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. Just an eighth of an inch difference, but you can still get, you only waste this much. It goes end to end, if I remember right. And on this one, you waste this about a 1/4 inch, and this area, which is perfect for a greeting. So they're very, yeah, I'm glad you used that, Barb. I know I have a lot of people who love to use these templates for them, but just a reminder, I haven't shared it in a long time for people who may not have used it. Okay, so I did sponge that earlier so I could save a little bit of time. I do have because I use this for my card club, I have my large stamp on my Stamparatus. So we're going to, and I better move that in the screen. So I usually keep the stamp set underneath it, or an ink pad or something, so it's even, and so my pressure is even. Now, for those of you who are new, we do not have the Stamparatus available anymore, unfortunately. There was a whole mix-up with copyright issues with another company, and so they had to take it off the market. But I believe they're working on making another one that it was the hinge that they didn't like, that they thought that they cased. So yeah, we do not have that this available anymore. I'm sorry about that. So I'm going to show you different ways to add ink to this. Now, what I did on the bottom was, instead of sponging, I just added, and you can kind of see that, I just went right direct to paper. And I'm going to do the same. I'm going to reverse my colors this time. On my card, I used Old Olive first. This time I'm going to use, I'm going to do direct to paper to save myself some sponging. And I will still sponge some colors on because it's not going to get everywhere that I want. And just add a little bit there. Oh, and then I got some there. So what I have is a sponge dauber to kind of remove ink. It's not the best, but it'll work. And yeah, I'm going to use sponges on the rest. Okay. All right. So to do move my card out of the way. The trunk, I must have used, I didn't think I used a marker, but do I have that must be my brown. Yeah, it is. Okay, I was going to say, how did I do my tree? Okay, so just fill in where you want the brown, and you can go into, if you get into the green a little bit, just wipe off. It's very wet, my sponge dauber is. Get into those tree trunks. You can go right over the green a little bit if you need to. Just wipe some of that off. And I'm going to go up into the grass and kind of make this a little less strong from that, called direct to stamp if you, with your ink pad. And I think I'll do some green in there. I want to make sure this is nice and dark brown. And as long as I'm not going into something like light yellow or something like that, it'll be just fine. So I'm actually going to do the fence as well, but I'm going to make it darker. You can see there's darkness on there, right? So we're going to get our fence. But I also want to add some green. That's going to be a little tough to add green to these bushes, I guess. Okay, now we're going to get into, most of it's covered, right? We're going to get a little bit of Old Olive out and try and get a little bit of these bushes. And yes, I'm going right over that mossy, pecan pie. Just want a little bit of green here. It's a very loose method, and I even want to add some green down here. Let's see what my color, yeah, it's still very green. And then I'm going to add, now this is okay because I'm going from Granny Apple green, lighter green into darker green. So it won't affect my my ink pad that much. So now we want to get some nice dark green on here. Don't want brown leaves. Just add a little bit of darkness to that granny apple. It just changes the hue. You can see that on here, that the hue just looks a little bit different. I'm trying to change some of the brown leaves that I got with my ink pad to green as well. Just add a little bit of different tones. Okay, now, I think, well, where's my thing? I'm gonna add a little bit. I'm not sure I got these to change. The bird I'm gonna leave alone. All right, so we will put our, I just used a little blending brush with some balmy blue ink and made it very soft sky. We'll add that right here. And it's smaller than the stamp, so I cannot do this more than once. Once is all I get because I can't use the magnet because it's smaller. So I'm going to do a little huffing, excuse me. That huffing will re-moisten the ink. And what I usually do is use a sweater and kind of press all over this really firmly to transfer that ink. Now you can just, I'll show you a different, well, there we go. We have green leaves and brown trunk. And then we have kind of a mottled business on the bottom. Now I have to clean this because the next project we're going to do is not in these colors. It's darker, so it'll be okay if I don't clean it really well. Okay, there's my little chamois. Move this aside and show you another cool trick with, I'm going to close up some of these ink pads. Okay, now if you are not happy with some of the coloring, you can go ahead and go over it. So like, for instance, this, I actually used a small tip on this one. I have a little bit of green peeking through that little fence. I think the rest is okay. It's a little bit mottled. What if, you know, if you're a little bit of a fussy person, you can go ahead and add a little bit more color to some of the areas that are not colored in as strongly as you would like. So some of us who have that kind of issue. But what I wanted to show you is this fence technique. So look at the fence on there. So you see that it's darker, right? I didn't want it the same color as the tree. So what I did was take my fine tip on my Stampin' Write marker and just do some lines. And this is Early Espresso. And it leaves the brown underneath it, but adds the depth of the dark color in the marker. So even if it looks a little green under there, as you could see, or it's not filled in all the way, so very soon it will look like an old-fashioned fence. Isn't that cool? You don't have to be perfect. And I even did some of the posts. Have fun with it. Okay, there we go. And then the little bird, if you want to make his body a little bit darker, that's the card. So yes, I didn't finish it, but you know how to do that. This is a fold back card, very simple. Add that, and then the greeting, you might wonder, where's the greeting from? And then here's the inside. These are all that smallest layer, 3.5 by 4 3/4. So I should put it together so we can see which one, but they're very similar. Even though this one I started with Granny Apple on the bottom and sponged Old Olive on top, and this one I started with Old Olive and sponged Granny Apple on the top. I had to keep cleaning my sponge dauber though on that one because I was going dark to light, so a little, not quite the right way. Thank you. Glad you liked the card. Okay, so my greeting, what I did for my greeting is, and I used it on the next card as well. I'm going to move that over. Just use this one, is the more messages. So this is so much better than some of the other ones that we've had in the past because it's so large. Look at the die cut size for your greeting. Instead of, we used to have lots of them like this size and even smaller. But now we have these larger ones, and this is how they fit on the stamp. So I stamped this, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 times and for my club, and I still have so much left over, so they could just pick one and then layer it, and I'll show you that on the next card, how that's gonna work. So I just grabbed a greeting, and then I used my blending brush because I didn't really have any white on the front. So I thought, well, that's really gonna stand out. So I used my blending brush and just blended over that white greeting. Oh, and the other thing I did, I can't really show it on here, but I can show you on a scrap because it's just cool. You may have done this already. But with your marker, if you want, you can make little spatters. So if you do that, just hit the side of your marker. It's very, very fine. It's very fine. You probably can't even see it, but I did it with blue, the Balmy Blue marker, and it just adds just a little bit of like, oh, is that speckled kind of a look? So you can do this with a water pen, aqua painter, water marker, water pen, whatever they're called, and you get a lot bigger spatters, but I just wanted to keep it with my markers today. So that's another tip. All right, so let's move on to the next card, and this is our club card, another club card from, where are we at? June. Okay, and we did use these 2 stamp sets as well. All right, so here is the next card, and I did not have to sponge the background at all because I decided that it would be a lot of time and effort for all of my club members to sponge their background like I showed you in the swaps earlier. So I used the Thoughtful Journey 6x6 paper. There's so many beautiful scenes. It's hard to see in these little 2x2s, but you can see it here. Look at the background that you have with these paper. So it's so incredible. This is actually out of stock right now, but it's coming back. So it's gone for a few weeks, if I recall. All right. Let's use this one. Okay. So this one is done a little differently than this other one was. Just trying to get all my pieces ready. I have a lot in my basket today. Okay, so because, well, I'll just start. This is also Balmy Blue to match with most of the designer papers in that set. So here, as you can see by the dark background, I'm going to use Secret Sea ink on here. I tried it with black Memento, and even though I inked that ink pad fully, it was still not as solid as a water-based foam stamp can get. So here I left, as you can see, this is much longer than the card, okay, much longer. So I needed to leave some length on here to add the magnet, because the magnet, let's see if I can get that in, yeah, that should be plenty of room. The magnet will hold it in case I have to do it twice. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. And if you did not have a Stamparatus, you can see how wet this is. I had to ink this stamp up every time I had a club, because after 6-8 people used it, it did not give a fully inked image. That looks pretty good. Okay, but my stamp, with the Stamparatus, it does, I'm just gonna huff. so now once again, I'm going to slide my sweater down and press, and we'll see if we have to do it a second time. Most times we did, just because we really wanted it nice and dark. But the Secret Sea ink, oh, I got it pretty much. I could do a little bit more. I'm missing, well, there was something on that. Okay, we'll just try it on the tree trunk one more time. But this is the beauty of a positioning tool like this. Now, if you don't have it, remember, we will come up with one again someday. Yes, you did win, Linda. You did. Thank you. I asked you if your address was the same as last. No, this is really wet. So I'm going to just set that aside a minute, and I'll wash that later. You can actually just wash that right under running water too if you don't want to use your chamois or your cleaner. Okay, so set that aside, and I'm going to show you the greeting trick. Okay, so we're using the Peaceful View stamp set today. So if you, like, say I wanted that one has a little something on it. Here's Time to Celebrate. So there is actually one that matches it almost perfectly. I might use that, but what I did tell people that say they wanted the Hooray, well, they can use this little strip and simply cut it to match. Or if they want this on, let's try a different one. This one, just cut it in half. So what I did here is I cut the same die plain, and so they could layer. So like here, you could find, I don't know where the other end is on that one. Somebody cut it in half and then didn't use it. But you can, that's not the right one. It's in here somewhere. But anyway, you cut it in half, and well, that one doesn't work because you can see the ends. Yep, that's a fail. But here we go. Cut it in half here and spread it on both sides. So really fun way to use these. I think I'll use, I don't know. Yeah, I'll use that one just to make it easy. Okay, add a little bit of ink, put these together. Okay, and then for a bow, let's see. Yeah, none of these work, so I would have to tie another one. I think this was in the clearance rack. It just recently retired. I'm not sure if it's still there. But twines can be hard to learn on. If you're learning and frustrated with how to do a bow, I guess I wouldn't start with a twine. But I would start with a nice thin ribbon, like a 1/4 inch or something. Okay, and then I would simply either add it under the corner or even on top. So let's finish our card. I need to trim this. So we want it 5 1/4 inch in length. So there is the 5, there is the 1/4, and that's all we need to do. This kind of gives you an idea of the different colors you can get with this designer paper. So the card is simply 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 2 1/8 and 4. So you'll always want to use your bone folder to make it mined. And then I'll show you, this is going to go on here. Just adding that beautiful edge to the black, or it looks black, but it's Secret Sea. Really showcases that paper. Then we're just going to add to our card. This is a full 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it just adds to the card like that. Make sure all my edges. The nice thing about the liquid glue is it slides after you put it on, and you don't want to cover up so much of this greeting this beautiful scene. So I really do like a small greeting on here. And you know, I don't even think I'm going to add the twine, even though I just tied a bow. I don't think it needs it. So then the inside of this card, I simply stamped another tree from the Peaceful Pier. So, and I gave them the option of adding a little bit of color to it or leaving it blank. So it kind of pulled the tree theme in. And then let's finish her up with a few of these gorgeous dragonflies and butterflies. So this is still available. It was in our online store and it's still there. So I guess it's this way. So they're so flat. I absolutely love them. I think I will use birds since we've got a bird there. And there's a different bird. There's two different birds. There we go. So again, if you don't go to the online store, you will miss out on things like this. They're gorgeous. But yeah, that is the card today. And the other one I made is this one today using the Peaceful View stamp set. I hope you like it. It's just a gorgeous set that is so easy. Now, if you do not have a Stamparatus, what you do is you put your image, your big stamp image side up, you ink it, you lay your designer paper on the stamp, and then you grab a piece of scrap paper and you press to transfer that ink. You do not have to have a Stamparatus. You just need to add ink, press, so you don't get dirty. Then you press and then you don't let it move, lift it up, and you've transferred your ink. Okay? Oh, good. I'm glad you ordered the stamp. I'm glad that you like the cards, Betty. And don't forget, the project sheets will be on my Flowerbug Stamp and Share group today, this afternoon, and they will be seen at my blog next week, probably Monday and Tuesday. So I usually post Monday through Wednesday on the projects that I do today. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. And don't forget to go to the online store and check out all the goodies there. There's lots of new wonderful products. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in and watching with me. Thanks a lot. Okay. Bye-bye.